All right, Pickle. It's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score on award-winning Hondas like the 2024 rugged and reliable Ridgeline.
They're going to make a 2024. You know what? Let me look this up. Go finish your copy points.
Anyway, whether you want a 2024 rugged and reliable Honda Ridgeline or any of the other rugged and reliable Honda vehicles, you can stop by your local North Texas Honda dealers today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
Can confirm.
Oh.
There is a 2024 Honda Ridgeline.
And I bet you it's even more rugged and even more reliable.
I bet so.
We love you, Honda.
Thanks, Honda. We appreciate it. It's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. If you got questions, get them in on Helpful Honda Mailbag Wednesday when we ask, we solicit for questions. So build a time machine, go back in time and ask them. But as we head into the final week of the high school football regular season, Pickle, what questions do the people have? Let me hear from my people.
The people. Would Draylon Miller have the same success and get the same looks if he was a receiver in a bigger school, say like Duncanville or North Shore?
Okay. Let's separate this into two conversations.
Yes.
Both of which might have the same answer, but we'll separate it. The first is the recruit part of it.
Yeah.
Okay?
And a 5-star is a 5-star.
He's a 5-star talent. It doesn't matter. And the fact that he's doing it at a 4A school.
It's almost more impressive.
In the Golden Triangle, which is like, if you're a 4A school, I'm trying to think of La Vega.
Yep.
Right? 4A school, relatively large city. Or when Argyle was a 4A school. These programs.
Stephenville.
Yes. Those types of either blue blood programs or programs in major metro areas.
Yes.
Right? I think Dallas Carter's a 4A. Like if Dallas Carter had an elite talent receiver, he'd be on everybody's radar. The fact that he's doing this in the Golden Triangle in Silsbee and is a 5-star receiver, I think that goes without saying that he was going to get noticed regardless. There is a certain level where I think you can hide at this point, but at this point you got to be way off the beaten path because I think that the tentacles of the recruiting industrial complex are so vast and so sticky that I think the days of elite talents, FBS caliber talents being able to hide, I think those days are done. I think that the internet has changed things, and I think that we have gotten better at, I think coaches have gotten better at promoting their guys. I think players have gotten better at promoting themselves and getting noticed and understanding the landscape of going to camps and things like that. So all that is to say, first part of the question, Draylon Miller absolutely would have been a 5-star receiver, prospect at, or if he was at Katy or if he was at, Wolford Friendship or wherever, he would have been there. That's one part. Would he be having the same on-field success and be as dominant of a receiver at an Allen or a Denton Geyer or a Katy, right? It's interesting. One thing that I find to be interesting about at Silsbee is that they can, and I think Randy Smith does a good job, of scheming to his talent. Instead of putting the talent into his scheme, he schemes to the talent. I bet if you were to go up to Randy Smith and pump a full of truth serum, he'd say, I'd probably like to run the ball a little bit more. Like, just generally speaking. But you got a great quarterback. You got a number of great receivers, including an elite talent. They're going to throw the ball to those guys.
Yeah.
So I think that the scheme has something to do with it. As far as the talent level is concerned,
I
think he would still be a star. I think he would be in the kind of thing that we talk about with like DeCorian Moore at Duncanville, right? Or all of these other big time receivers at big time programs. Like he's when you're a 5-star player, you're a guy that we think can play on Sundays.
Yep.
And Sunday players are going to be elite wherever they go.
Yeah, and that's the difference between like us and people like Greg Powers who follow recruiting is most of the time we look at it from a team perspective. We watch football differently than they do. They're not looking at it from a team perspective. They're looking at the player and comparing him to other like players. They're not comparing him to whoever the team that they're going up against.
Most certainly. So would his numbers be... And by the way, his numbers are good this year. They're not gaudy. They've kind of been blowing teams out, and I think they've tried to save him up. Obviously, I think he'd be going up against a little bit better talent, a little bit deeper talent at the 6A level, but I think he would still be a clear star and an all-state guy. in my opinion.
I agree.
So there you go. What's next, Pickle? Now I'm sorry to interrupt. The better question, and it's a good question, I want to be clear. Another question here is what would happen with a guy like Grayson Rigdon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Grayson Rigdon, the superstar player at Benjamin at the 6-man level.
Because he's playing different football.
Correct. He's playing a different style of football.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like slot T versus spread. I mean like
6
different
versus
rules.
11.
And like how, like if you were to drop him into Silsby or you were to drop him into Allen, what would he do there? And that's something that maybe as we go on through the playoffs we can discuss.
Well, and to play devil's advocate here too, something that always comes to my mind when you're talking about, hey, if they played at a bigger school, how would they compare? You honestly never know that if maybe he moved to a 6A program like that and the competition stake was higher for him to have to stand out more. Sometimes that can push out the better in people, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, sometimes it can make him play better. If he's sitting there and he knows for a fact that he's probably one of the best players on the field, but maybe not the best, sometimes that sparks that competitive spirit in it, too. And it's like, oh, yeah, at Silsby, he's used to just getting whatever he wants. You add in the level of competition, that has something to do with it sometimes, too.
I totally agree.
If you could have any former Texas high school football coach your children, who would you choose? I won't make you choose a favorite of current coaches. One, thank you.
So a former Texas high school football
or current. It could be former or current, but they didn't want to leave it to just current because that'd be kind of mean. I mean, there's the easy answers of like being able to say that your kid was coached by G.A. Moore or
Gordon
Phil
Wood.
Danaher. Yeah, like
Gordon Wood was the first place I went. And here's the thing. I guess the question would be, all right, well, let me get real sensitive here for a moment. What I would like from a football coach is to help to build my son into a better man, right? My son, Hank's awesome. Shout out, Hank. Probably not going to the NFL.
No.
I would say the odds are against it for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
But the odds are against it.
I think early things says Max is more likely to be your football player than Hank.
Yeah, he's a wild man.
Yeah.
So if you're looking, so my question, so the question is like, who would I trust to build my, to help my son become a better man? And the good news is, about 95% of high school football coaches, I'd be like, yep, absolutely, fantastic, go play for him. It's hard to pass up a guy like Gordon Wood. You know what I mean? Because the other thing is that like Gordon Wood, let's just say that the playing thing doesn't work out. His coaching tree is
huge,
pretty vast.
Yeah,
Reginald Sample is kind of in that same vein. So I'll say Gordon Wood. Gordon Wood would be my pick.
You know what's funny and it's odd because he's technically a former Texas high school football coach, but any time that I was lucky enough to go into a locker room like before the game when I was sideline reporting and listen to people give their speeches and stuff, John Kay. I would. He was awesome. I think that's with student athletes.
Great one. I'll give another one. Joey McGuire.
Yes. Yep.
I'll give another one. Jeff Traylor. Those are guys that I would trust with my son.
Yes.
And be like, yep. Go learn from them. You'll be a better football player, yes. But like I also trust that they're going to take care of you, and I also trust that they're going to have a stake in you being a better person.
Yep.
And that's what I want. So there you go. There's that. You want to do one more?
Yeah. If you had to have a mythical creature as a pet, what would it be, and what would you name it?
A mythical creature.
I don't know how up to date I am on my mythical creatures.
I mean, you can do like a unicorn. You can do a dragon. You can do.
A dragon would be cool.
Narwhals are real, right?
Yeah.
Narwhals are real. They don't seem real.
Yeah, they're real.
Okay.
I have a narwhal shirt.
I mean, the having a dragon as somebody who is I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No.
There are people who are super into Game of Thrones. I feel like a dragon would be a real risk-reward situation. Do you know what I mean?
Like, if you want to hop on and fly somewhere, you can, but also if they wanted to burn your entire house down with, like,
also,
2
whenever
seconds,
they want, they can kill you.
Yeah.
Whenever they want, for no reason, indiscriminately. I think I'm going to go with the Pegasus. Okay?
Okay.
The flying horse.
That
feels like a pretty safe choice that also provides me with a fair amount of value because I can fly. I'm going to go with the Pegasus, and her name
Okay.
is going to be Francine.
Yep.
Francine the Pegasus is what I'm going to go with. Because, again, I want something that's not going
Oh.
to kill me. And I don't think a Pegasus is going to kill me. Famous last words. But also I needed to provide some value for me. And I think that being able to fly to work would be great.
A fairy. I want a little fairy, like a little Tinkerbell.
Oh.
That flies around, and if I need to be like a fly on the wall type of situation, like, hey, go listen to what they're talking about over there, she just...
Like, the answer's probably like a genie, right?
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about a genie. But that would be the thing. Are you only given 3 wishes?
I'll take 3 wishes.
That's fair. That's
Because
fair.
you know what the first wish is? Unlimited wishes.
Correct.
Okay.
When I Googled mythical creatures, do you want to know what popped up? Like the first couple of them?
Yeah, what's the mythical creatures Google search look like?
Dragon, unicorn, mermaid, werewolf, fairy, Loch Ness monster, a sphinx,
Loch Ness Monster.
a griffin. That's another good one. A centaur. That's the first one that originally popped into my head. A yeti. That rolls. Like, what if it was just
yeti.
me and Bigfoot
Just
walking
chilling.
through Walmart?
Just vibes.
A ghoul.
A
gnome. Did you know a gnome is considered a mythical creature?
Well, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, there's not gnomes. They
yeah.
like they're not walking around.
Yeah. I guess that's
Like they're
true.
real or they're not real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're
not
saying.
real.
They're not alive.
They're not alive. They're not like, yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's what they want you to think.
Maybe that is what they want you to
There's okay. Let's go back to conspiracy theories here. That's my conspiracy theories. Gnomes pull a Nightmare at the Museum type of situation, and they come alive at night.
Your conspiracy theory is that Toy Story is a documentary?
Yes, correct. Buzz is real. Gosh darn it!
That would be terrifying. That would be terrifying.
Yes, it would.
I don't.
Yeah.
I gotta run back Toy Story. My kids have not been into like Hank was really into Toy Story 2 or 3, one of them. I know he's into Cars 2, which sucks because Cars 2 is the worst one.
Yeah, but original Cars is amazing.
Original Cars hits. I'll watch original Cars whenever, but Cars 2 sucks.
Yep. Is that the one where they go to Italy?
Yes, they go.
The Mater wasabi bit is really good.
I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm saying that it's mostly bad. Like rounding up, it's all bad. Anyway, yeah, I will go with a Pegasus.
Okay, we can end the show on this, but I always like when people walk into the office for like business meetings and stuff, and then we're in here debating if gnomes
are gnomes real?
There's like
okay,
super important people walking into the office.
Let's hammer out this contract so that we can make sure that there's a mutually agreeable business relationship. And in the other room, separated by a wall, we're just like, I don't know if gnomes are real. I wonder if they get up in the middle of the night and walk around and eat my vegetables.
Can you imagine owning a Yeti?
I swear this is just coffee, guys. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Remember, Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight, 7:30 p.m.
Let's party.
TexasLive.com, YouTube, and Facebook. Be there or be square.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.